All right. Good morning. This is the group energy clearing on November 12th, 2023. And I've been spending last night and today really tuning into the energies, and really what I tend to bring up is kind of what I'm feeling in the collective, what I'm feeling within myself, what I'm feeling from lots of clients and lots of folks and lots of people around, and really kind of where the energy is. And so that's what I try to bring forward in these group energy clearings, because there's usually a big piece for everyone to dive into. Hey, Ray. So what has been really coming into my awareness are a few things. One is around, where do we want to prioritize? Like, what do we want to prioritize in our lives? But what are we not currently doing? Like, there's something that we really want to prioritize, but there's a block in the way from us going into it. Yeah, Ray.
Are you recording this?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I got in at noon, so I didn't know. Okay, I just want to make sure you're recording it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I know there are times I forget. So I appreciate you looking out. I definitely do. So thinking about, what is there something that you really want to prioritize in your life that you are not prioritizing currently? And I had to write these questions down to really go into it a little bit more deeper. Buenos días, Laura. Bienvenidos.
Buenos días.
Yes. So, yeah. And how are we not holding ourselves accountable? And there's this big energetic block that I'm starting to see within us and within the collective around, what do we want, but we're not prioritizing? And how are we not holding ourselves accountable? So we can go into, when I was on my walk today, and I was listening really to the trees, and I was watching the birds a lot, and then these thoughts just kept on coming in. And it was really around, how are we keeping ourselves in our heads and not sinking into our hearts to keep this in flow, to make this be in flow? And is what we want really in flow? Are we not accepting the energies how they are? We are not accepting it in flow. Are we blocking ourselves because we're kind of still analyzing or beating ourselves up in our heads and not sinking into our hearts? So when I was out in nature today, that just kept on saying, bring forward, where are you in your head and not in your heart? And where's the disconnect in what you want that you're not bringing forward within yourself? Yeah, Ray.
Well, that happened. I wasn't relating exactly to what you were saying, except that this morning, I was laying in bed, and I've had this experience before where the sun comes in the window. It comes into my room, and the light. I have my eyes closed, and it's kind of like I'm taking in that solar light. But I was trying to force this great insight, and I realized when I was laying there, I wanted it to happen versus letting it to happen. So I know exactly what you're saying. I think that many times in our life, we it's kind of like we're planting this garden, and we're pulling up and seeing, the roots or something like that, to see when it's going to start growing or something like that. So I understand what you're saying. That's how I'm experiencing it.
Oh, and do you feel I feel like when I even just start tuning into you forcing this happen, this happened in my meditation this morning too, where there was like I feel it like a rigidity or like a lockness in the chest with you, Ray. And I'm feeling that for myself too, where there's just this like stop. And when I start to really tune more into it, we're still in the heavier energy of the ancestors. There feels like there's pieces here, but there feels like there is some type of system or loop within us that keeps this dominant, and it keeps us from sinking in ways. And I feel like I was tuning into the fall energy today, right? And I feel there's a lot of wind around, the leaves are falling and they're flowing down and all of that stuff. And we get into wind energy, there is a level of like creativity and swirling and connection that can happen with fall energy. But there's also within that, with the leaves falling and all the leaves everywhere and the this and the that, there can feel like some scatteredness. There's like a scatteredness energy that can come really with fall as well. And I'm sensing that with a lot of people, and where that scatteredness is, they're not able to really anchor into your heart, into this transition into fall and almost into winter. For us in the what are we in, Western Hemisphere, or this piece of not allowing ourselves to go into the flow of transition, into slowing down, going within. There are still folks fighting this deeper Scorpio energy, which is trying to get us to go deeper and deeper within. And there are incidences that are still coming up in our lives that we are sourcing as our teachers that many folks are not seeing as lessons. Many folks are still going into reaction mode. And so this is the piece I keep on seeing. And even with myself, our little Shih Tzu, who's 10 years old, attacked our mailman. And we got a letter from the post office, a warning letter from the post office. We may have to get our mail delivered somewhere else. And he told the mailman that told some of the neighbors, and some of the neighbors are coming up to me. It's like, what's up with your dog? And I was mad at Gooby for doing it, and then I was going into my own shit around it. And this was just an incident that happened. He's a grumpy dog. He's always growled at male people, always. Doesn't matter race, gender, any size, anything. He just, something about male carriers. Now, but I've been spiraling all week into, what did I do wrong? I'm angry at myself. I'm angry at my dog. I look bad. I'm not going to be accepted by this male person. Now I find out the male person's like telling all the neighbors. So I'm going into all of this, but I'm keeping myself here. And as soon as I started catching myself, I was able to sink in to, okay, what is in this for me? Where is the lesson here? And that got me into some deep levels of healing around childhood stuff, of course, but there was something even greater. There was some sort of light that started coming in, this light connection. And it feels like there's these downloads trying to come in. And Ray talks a lot about that, the light energy that's coming in right now, the sun energy that's coming in. And it's really coming in strong, but it's showing up for us in these daily experiences, the places that we are still feeling resistance and blocked towards. It was an incident that happened. I sent him a note, deeply apologizing. His safety is important to me, blah, blah, blah. But I still keep on going into sadness. So there's some other layer. And then I got to another layer of how sad and out of control I felt as a child. And I wanted always everything to be good and look good and feel good. And so I got into that wounded child space with it. So there's always something. So if you're having resistance to money right now, if you're having lack of motivation issues, you want to do something, but you just can't get it done. You want to be able to get those videos done. If you want to get this done, you want to do this piece of work, it's on your to-do list and you can't get to it. There's something in there for you around this loop, this scattered energy loop that is pretty heavy in the collective right now. Whew, that's where we're going. Yes, Susan.
Yeah. When you're talking, I feel like you want to protect your dog too. And that, you failed your dog because he's got this certain personality, and that makes me really sad that feeling.
Yeah. I mean, he's such a sweet guy, but he's grumpy. He's a grumpy 10-year-old little dog, and he's a little dog. So he gets kind of like stepped on by the puppy who's, 30 something pounds now. And he's always had this issue with tall people and things like that.
I've had such a dog. You're trying to manage something. Well, mine was more extreme than that, but yeah. Anyways, I just feel a lot of sadness, that
Yeah, and there's sadness underneath, but I got to a place that like I really do want things to go well and not go bad or not go wrong. And this is life. Life is not going to be the way I want it to be all the time, right? And then I have this mailman that's mad at me, and it's like, and that is like, I don't look good, I'm not accepted, then that's an issue for me too. So there's just more in there. It has nothing to do with the dog, right? It happens. Shit happens with, and he ran out and I didn't have the door shut. It was my fault in terms of, it also reminds me of, is city life the life I want anymore? Right? I mean, I want my dogs to be able to run free, and I do find places in the city for them to do that. So there's even more of what do I want and what am I not giving myself? So I'm always going there. And there's something in there. But there is a stop from integrating this light energy that's trying to come in right now for us. There's these downloads that are really coming in, and it's this deep level. I feel it in the perineum. I feel it in even like our rooting is changing, our grounding is changing, what everything looks like in our life is changing. Even our relationship to what money is and how it comes in and all those things, how our bodies medically are, and all those things are changing before us. And and the light codes are trying to like integrate within us to help us to tap into our hearts and not our heads, so we can integrate the new systems that are trying to come online and everything. But there's still blocks within us. And you may have extreme situations or intense situations coming in, or you may have these little subtle things, like, again, my dog situation, which it's not that big of a deal. We'll just, I've got to be extra careful now, make sure he's on a leash when I get him outside and all those things. But those are still just as big, because it's taking me to deeper places if I'm open to it. Yeah, Ray, and then Laura.
As you're speaking, I just I just saw this movie recently. It's called Sing Street, and it's really good. Not that I want to bring this movie up, but basically it's going into first love. And if anybody goes back to a time when they had that first love experience, it's kind of like it's like you can't control it. You are in your heart and nothing can stop it. And it's the most amazing feeling. But I feel like as you're speaking, we're grieving that feeling, that love feeling that we experienced when for the first time. It's kind of like that type of feeling. And if we could only get into that, it's in and we then we get past that, and then we start living our lives, and then we start dealing with, but that initial feeling of first love is most amazing experience that most of us have ever had.
Oh, I feel that. And, and that Venus energy is wacky right now. So it's interesting that you're bringing that forward. Yeah. Laura.
Yeah, it's interesting you said Venus, because that's what I was feeling yesterday, Venus energy a lot. But Rael, and wow, that first love kind of brought emotion up to me. Not first love of a relationship with somebody, but the first love that was lost, which was my mom's. And so that's what brings emotions up. It's like the love with the mother. But then yesterday, I feel this energy coming in strongly. And after we did the activation yesterday, which I didn't think it was as strong as it actually was, but it was, because things started dribbling in a very subtle way. Like, I'm in Mexico, so it's very chaotic, and it's people are coming in, trucks are like really loud, a lot of smoke, and all kinds of stuff going on. And we were driving, and all of a sudden, I had this huge truck right next to me. The windows are open, it's really hot. And all of a sudden I had this energy coming, and it was just like this love, like you're talking about, like such an intense love for Pachamama, for just earth. It was like, it didn't matter the smog, it didn't matter the noise, nothing mattered. there was just that. It brought tears to my eyes. We were just driving, and I was just like, and we listened to actually Woman of John Lennon, and then Imagine. So it was just like all these things, and I felt Venus there, and I was like, oh, Venus, I know, I don't really, connect as much with planets at times, but it was just right there. And it just feels like, yeah, this energy is very delicious, and it's incredible, very yummy. The thing is that it makes me a little bit not wonder, but whatever, is like I don't know the word, I don't know how to explain it, but the people around me mostly, the people that now that I'm more sensitive than I used to be, I can really feel when their energy switches, and it switches really quickly. I mean, one moment everything is fine and flowing, and boom, the next moment I can feel that contractions, and I see it in my husband, I see it in my son, in my daughter, in my granddaughter. She's not even 2, but she just tense up, or she just pulls air or something. She does something wild. And I feel like, the energy is coming in and is bringing up stuff in people that they're not working it, and they don't want to work it. They don't want to know. They don't want to, at least the one that they are in my life that I really care about, that I really would like to move on and open up and, just get into this flow of trying to do something about this energy that is coming in that they don't know what to do with, But personally, I have a lot of ancestors coming in. I have people that they have come in to wanted to do death rites, which are people that I totally forgot about it, that they're not even in my family, but I had relations maybe when I was young or whatever, all of a sudden, boom, they show up right there. And I'm like, oh, okay, that they passed, a long time ago, or, suicidal, or, sickness or whatever, and they're just, boom, I see them right here, okay. So I do what I can, but so there is a lot of things happening, but the main thing it's that I feel is mostly, how do I not help, but how do I be of support? Yeah, I can hold the space, and I am holding the space, because feeling better within myself, I can hold the space without getting upset or triggers about things. When things happen, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty calm. I'm just, okay, well, the flow, we will move. But at the same time, it kind of hurts me that that's where they are, and they don't want to know anything about it. So that's my piece.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It feels like the connection and the link with the love piece and kind of all this energy and stuff is we're still wanting things to look a certain way, and our sensitivities towards others are amplifying. But we also want them to look a certain way. Right. And that first love piece, we want that sensation, we want that feeling. And it feels like, Laura, you didn't want the smog and the traffic and the noises, right? You want it to be a certain way. But once that love frequency came in and you were open to it and going into your heart, none of that mattered. It didn't matter. And this is those energies that are trying to come in, that we're trying to integrate now, of really getting beyond all this 3D stuff, getting beyond it, but still living in a 3D, but still being in a biosuit on this planet right now in this lifetime. So this is beautiful. Thank you for your shares, because that love frequency is what we're going to tap into, and how we are. And let's see what energies come in around how we still want things to look a certain way. And it could just be our own stuff. Right? Our own stuff around, I still want to hold on to, I need to have $20,000 in the bank, right? Or I need to have this much money a month. It could be something like that. Well, where are we not integrating and bringing in love to be provided for? or our environment. Like now I'm like blaming the city. It's like, oh, if I had, all these neighbors are now talking about me, and we're right next to each other, and I just need to move out of the city and everything's going to be fine. Right? No, it's just like, it looks the way it looks. And if I integrate, and when I did really see it from Vern, the postman's side, I really tuned into that love frequency. I realized, whoa, he's probably been bitten before. A lot of mail carriers have been bitten before. It's a big thing. There's something like 100,000 dog bites a year with postal workers in the United States alone, something like that. And I realized, whoa, if I'm coming from love and loving and having compassion for him, when that came in, I think it was on Thursday, I wrote him a letter. I wrote him a card and I put it in my mailbox and he took it. And I don't know, but I came from such a loving, apologetic place. And I said, you know what? Your safety matters to me. It's important to me that you feel safe delivering your mail to our house. And that was just out of that love frequency. And I took it all out because originally I was like, it's a little dog. He can't really do much to him. Right. But it wasn't about that. It was about bringing in that love frequency. And so, I didn't even think about the love frequency that came in even for me when I did this apology. So that's where we're going today. Anyone else want to share anything before we really start getting into the clearing part of things? Okay, so this is a good time to get comfortable. If you want to go off screen as we go really into the activation part. Just allowing yourself to have some breaths in and out, in through the nose, exhaling either out of the nose or out of the mouth, whatever calls for you to do. Those deeper exhales, especially those more verbal exhales, release so much energy when you do that. I was even watching my dog yesterday, and I watched her inhale, and she had that same kind of exhale like we have with a sigh or with a noise, that that type of louder exhale coming out. And so now I'm watching my dogs do that all the time. I'm like, wow, they get it. They're just shifting energy. They're releasing energy as they're inhaling and exhaling, but allowing for a bigger release on the exhale. Now bringing in that co-creative frequency of the breath, of that life force energy that comes in and out of our bodies as we breathe in and out. And how this is a cycle. This in and out breath is a cycle of creation. It's a cycle of giving and receiving. As we inhale, we are opening ourselves to receiving the life force energy that comes in, that beautiful oxygen that comes into our bodies. And as we exhale, we are open to giving that energy, giving that whatever, the carbon dioxide and all that out for the plants, for the plant kingdom to receive. This cyclical energy, this loop, this process of giving and receiving is something that we are living every single moment we are alive. That inhaling, receiving of that life force energy, that exhaling of releasing what doesn't serve us, but serves the plant kingdom, serves the planet. Allowing that receiving as you inhale and that giving as you exhale. Feeling the cycle of this, the motion of this, the frequency of this inhale and this exhale. And as we are doing this, we are starting to stir up the energy. We are starting to connect deeper and deeper within as we are opening our hearts to this cycle of giving and receiving, that both are just as valued and just as important. And as you are in this cycle of giving and receiving, call in your spirit team, your entourage, call them in to help assist within this activation, within this energy clearing. Ask them to join in this flow of giving and receiving, knowing that you are in a co-creative relationship with them and they are receiving just as much as they are giving in your relationship to them. And as you are in this cycle, in this flow, in this movement, you may notice it expanding throughout your whole body, your whole field. Thanking your spirit team, your entourage for being here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now if you're called to call in your ancestors, your father and your father's people, your mother and your mother's people, if you want to do it in a more kind of structured way, I'll go ahead and look towards my right. And I'll encourage you to do so too, if this is how you're called to call in the ancestors. And as you look to the right, I call upon my father and my father's people, all the way back before time was time. Ooh, I call upon my Father and my Father's people all the way back before time was time. I call upon my Father and my Father's people all the way back before time was time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining this flow, this cycle of giving and receiving. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Welcoming your Father's people, your Father and your Father's people into this flow, and noticing if there's any resistances that come up. Just noticing what's presenting in this flow of giving and receiving as the energies are expanding, expanding, expanding. Looking over towards your left, I call upon my mother and my mother's people all the way back before time was time. I call upon my mother and my mother's people all the way back before time was time. I call upon my mother and my mother's people all the way back before time was time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome into the flow of giving and receiving. Being in this co-creative relationship together, choosing each other to live in this lifetime with for a reason, to be in co-creative relationship, to be in the giving and receiving. Perhaps there's an intention you want to bring forward as we go in deeper and deeper into this flow. Ah, yes, thank you. Thank you. There we go. And as this energy is ramping up, I'm calling forth that first love energy, this energy of expansive, pure love. And as that frequency is coming forward, notice the sensations you have in your body. Notice if there are any thoughts or feelings arising. Noticing if there is any visuals presenting for you. Notice if this energy is starting to present in your field. Notice where it goes right to. Maybe there's a certain part of your body this love frequency wants to come into. Notice if it spreads automatically right throughout your whole body. Or notice if there are resistances arising in the body as this love frequency is coming in. Oh, and as soon as I start tuning in to all of us, this love frequency is having a hard time even anchoring in and coming in. There seems to be some resistance, especially towards the coming in through the head. There seems to be resistance all over. It's like there's a force field or a shield or something around the body right now. And this love frequency is trying to get in, but it keeps on bouncing off. For some of you, I'm seeing it kind of trying to come in through the neck, the head, shoulders. I'm even seeing like lower back. It's trying to come through and there's just a bounce off. I see. Okay. So what's starting to present are the behaviors that first pop up when you think about love, when you tune into love, the guarding you used to have or that you may still have around allowing love to come in. I'm seeing the different kind of tools or behaviors or patterns or beliefs present around receiving this love. For some of you, you have your armies intact and ready to go. For others, the wounded child is presenting very strongly. There's like a wounded child frequency that's coming in real strong. Oh, for some of you, you're locking down your heart and you're holding on tight. So see if you feel any constrictive energy. All of us are rushing to our heads and coming up with a plan right now. I'm seeing the like structures and systems in place to lock down when we don't feel safe. There we go. And this is around, it's wanting it to look a certain way, to feel comfortable, to feel safe, to not get hurt anymore. Everyone has a blindfold on right now, and there's like a gagging in the throat. So I'm going into those energies. Good. Good. You may want to ask your spirit team, your entourage, your ancestors to help clear out the energies that are blocking you from sinking in and receiving this love. Help me, show me, show me where I'm holding on. Okay, good. For many of us, it's a worthiness thing, not worthy of even self-love. I'm worthy of loving myself. Lots of head pressure coming in. Good. Good. Lots of revealing so we can clear these energies out. Okay, and the Pashants are coming in very, very strongly. The Pashants are lion people. A lot of times people have relationships with the Pashants around protection, helping us to stay safe, to protect us. And there's a heavy fear energy coming forward, so I'm going to clear that out. And I'm asking the Pashants to help us to clear out these resistances. And if you're getting really tweaked or you're feeling lots of resistance, go back into the giving and receiving of the life force energy of the air, the breath that's coming in and out of the body. Gets us back into that place of being worthy of receiving the life force energy that comes into our bodies as we inhale, and the giving we give when we exhale. Yeah, there's a very heavy mother energy coming forward. So our grandmothers, it's heavy grandmother energy on, again, on our mother's side coming forward, where she felt trapped. And for many of you, there was a rigidity that came forward with that trappedness. For others, it's a busyness type of feeling, staying busy, keeping busy, whether that's like cleaning the house or whatever that busy energy is. So for some, it's like a rigidity, like it has to be done this way. And for others, it's a busyness, like grandma staying busy to be distracted. So I'm seeing how she passed that energy down to us. Ooh. This could be a biological grandmother. This could be an adopted grandmother. Someone who served as a grandmother figure to you. There we go. Lots of head pressure around this. Eyes, nose. And I'm going back deeper into the lineage of your mother's people. Good, good. I found some dark horse stuff. Kind of hijacked the flow. There's a central switch that's behind the back, in the back of the neck, closer to where the skull meets the neck. And this switch has been turned off. So I'm turning it back on, and the light bulbs are coming on. The light is coming on now. There's a big yes. Good. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Grandma. Thank you, thank you. Grandma is willing to let these energies go so we can clear out this lineage for ourselves, our future generations, and for those before us. Allowing the light to come in. And as this is getting cleaned up, there's many light codes coming in. For some of you, you may be starting to talk in light language or hear it or see it or know it. For some of you, you may see these light codes a little differently, maybe a feeling. You may feel just light starting to come in. Now it's filtered right now, so there's more to clean up. There's filtered light coming in into certain spots of the body. Okay, good. Grandma is letting go of the rest of this. Some big stuff unwinding now. Okay, bringing in the white flames. This is the white flames, the light of all that is coming in. So we can start dissolving agreements, contracts, vows, oaths. Oh, even spells are going to start getting dissolved through this. It's helping to pull up the next layer. Good, good, good. Okay, there's a device. There's a device in the throat and then in the lungs for some of you that prevents the giving and the receiving, the flow of love to come in to certain areas of the body. It keeps you giving, being in giving mode a lot, but not allowing yourselves to receive the love of others and for yourself. I found the owner of these devices. Ooh. This is connected to the ways that you harmed others. So it's kind of I insert these devices to keep myself in punishment, self-sabotage and punishment. There we go. Yes, good. You're waking up to realizing you are worthy of this love. Good. For those of you that had the wounded child piece come up really strong, that is starting to shift. More light codes coming in and more light language coming in. For some of you, there's a panic. So the panic is connected to fear. Like, what if these light languages or codes harm me? What if they're not for my greatest good? This is pure divine light. And it's going to be received and taken in and integrated in the ways that serve you in the highest way. go. For some of you, this behavior stays locked in when you worry, when you're worried or concerned about something. Or you start to get nervous about something. Whew, there we go. It's created a division between the upper half of your body and the lower half of your body. The way worry, concern, anxiousness, anxiety, nervousness blocks us, creates separation within us. Ooh. There we go. There's now a huge yes in your hearts that no longer do you want to be in separation. No longer do you want to be out of alignment. There we go. This is that it has to look a certain way piece that's getting cleared out now. All these threads and cords are being dissolved, dissolved, dissolved. Nice. And the Pashants are helping to clear those out. Even your ancestors are saying yes, yes, yes. Your mother and father are yes, 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 to clear this out of us. And now the light is shining from within and it's expanding out, out, out. This light is starting to expand throughout your whole body, the space around you as well. It's no longer coming from outside of you. It's expanding and expanding and expanding from within you. And there's a huge yes on your part to want to be sovereign, to source from within. That means being grounded, connected, loving, free. I am love. I am love. I am free. I am free. If there's anything else that you want to gain clarity on, this is the time to do it, to connect. While this light is so expansive in our biosuits, in a space around us, if there's anything else that wants to purge from you, dissolve and move out of you, this is the time to throw it in the white flames. Any agreements you may have, contracts, vows, oaths, dissolving in the white flames now. And going back to the breath, that cycle of giving and receiving. Starting to say thank you and goodbye to your ancestors. Thank you for being here. I love you. I love you. I love you. Saying goodbye to your spirit team, your entourage. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Echoing your name 360 degrees out into the universe. Echo, echo, echo. You're calling yourself back in this echo. This is a frequency of your essence being echoed out into the universe to call all your pieces back into you, to call all your energies back into you. Whatever name you decide to use is what's right for you. Echoing your name 360 degrees around the earth plane. Echoing, echoing, echoing. Calling your pieces back, calling your energy back. Coming back home, coming back home. Welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. 360 degrees into the earth, into the underworlds, the earth. Ah, welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. Those energies are coming in fast. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Claiming your body. This is my body. I get to decide when energies come in and out of my body. This is the space around my body. I'm in charge. I get to choose what comes in and out. This is me. This is me. This is me. This is my light. This is my essence. Yes, yes, yes. And when you're ready, bringing yourself back into this space, into this group clearing experience. If you are altered and want to stay altered, feel free to keep yourself off screen. If you are wanting to come forward on screen and share anything that came up for you, this is the time to do so now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh. Is there anything anyone wants to share? It's a lot that came forward. It's a lot. I feel like the ancestor stuff is just like never ending. There's just more and more and more to go. When that grandmother came, the grandmother came forward, I was like watching her, like she was like sweeping the stoop, sweeping the sidewalk, sweeping the, just sweeping like crazy. And it was this like really intense energy that was coming forward. And I had to go into it to be like, what is this about? And it was just like how it pushes into us, how her energy was pushing into us. So that was big.
Yeah, I felt that energy was very big. And it was interesting because I never related to my grandmother because my mother well, my mother died when I was little, and then her mother, she was, she was an orphan. So I don't think that she met her mother. So I don't know what the story of the grandmothers or great grandmothers are, there was always this abandonment through the whole lineage. And, but I really felt that coming in. It was just like, it was like a very strong energy. That one was amazing. So yeah, thank you for that. That was very good. Everything it was very, yeah, there was a lot of clearing for sure. Even the things that I didn't think they needed to be cleared.
Yeah, that's right. Even when we start with like a intention or a topic at the beginning, it just like takes us in totally different directions because we're like, our heads are saying, no, we don't need, but there's something in there. There's always something in there. One thing at the end, what really expanded and why the earth energies, when we were going into the earth to echo our name and the energies came back very quickly back to us, was because that giving and receiving, it was like we were really connecting with the plant kingdom there. And there's like this new relationship that just came online for us around opening up that giving and receiving, and how even just in our breath, we are we have intention, we have purpose. We are here to give that to Pachamama. We're here to give that to those living plants. So there's just something that there's so much that just opened up for us.
Yeah, I think so.
Whew.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
They're always potent. So this, you're really potent, dear Stacy.
Oh, thank you, Laura. Thank you.
Yeah, you go right in it.
I do, don't I?
Yeah,
That's my
do.
energy. It's like, no bullshit. Let's just get in, right? Like, that's just my energy. It's that more intense. I have a more intense piece to me.
It's good. I like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, Sophia.
Comment. It's interesting you keep going back into the grandmother energy because there's a lot of darkness there for me, and I could see compassion of how she didn't know joy and how she was in fear. Like my grandmother, I don't even remember her smiling more than like, she wouldn't show her teeth if she even smiled.
Wow.
So there was so much fear locked in there, and like I've avoided thinking about her, or she was very mean to me.
Wow.
So it's just interesting in these resets, you keep going back to that, and I feel like more and more of it has been able to be released and understood.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Yeah. Ray Ellen.
I had a similar thing that Sophia had. My favorite grandmother was my father's mother, my on my father's side. And of course, the grandmother that came forward was on my mother's side because she was very mean to me. I didn't like her at all. And I realized that because of my relationship with her is how I have based all my love relationships, of choosing love relationships that reject me. And so the grandmother was very, very important, and she came forward. So it gave me tremendous insight to how I enter love relationships.
Wow. Thank you for that. That brings so much clarity. Even both of your shares, it makes me think of my grandmother, right? And that kind of relationship that she had. She stayed busy all the time. She was my loving grandmother. But there was still like 9 children, constantly in motion. There was never a slowing down. And I see that now with me. Oh my gosh, I'd never even, thank you, ladies. You just shared something that got me to a deeper place, because I was holding space for you guys that I didn't even tune into, like my relationship. So, wow, I get to go deeper into that too. Ooh, wow. Oh, anyone else before we wrap up? Well, thank you for your patience with the. Oh yes, Bev.
Right. So the entire time I was like really tuned in to the ancestors, and a little bit after that, the Star Fam came in. and there was a strong like giving and receiving energy, what I can facilitate with them, and then them giving me that confirmation of the message I needed to hear, which is you are where you're meant to be. Just surrender to that. And I think that you're talking about love is strongly related to surrender. Like just surrender what you feel like you have to be, do, have, etc. And it just makes things a lot lighter and probably brings what you want to you faster anyways.
Wow, Bev, that's huge. I feel that. I feel like just like my body just relax with that. Like surrender equals love.
Yeah,
like it just feels like that's oh. And everyone shares. Everyone has such potent data sets. You know, we're all tracking right now. We're all using our intuition. So all of these shares are just so profound and take us to deeper places within. So even if you have these thoughts in your head and you're not speaking them out loud, it's just they're powerful. They're powerful. It's your intuition working right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the flexibility in the date change this month because of the holidays. I think next month it's fine. I don't think there's a shift in I think we're good to go, but thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll see you next month. And for anyone who, I think Ray, is it this Monday? Is Planet 2 weeks? So not this Monday, but the following Monday is Planetary Encodement Activation with Ray Ellen. They're free, powerful. She does it once a month on the 2nd. Okay, take that back. Normally it's the 2nd Monday of the month at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, but this month, because again, the holiday schedule got a little wacky for us, it's going to be not this Monday, but the following Monday. And I encourage you to join that. It's always, I mean, Ray Ellen is a very powerful astrological oracle, if that's a word. And so I really encourage you to get involved and to sign up for that. You can sign up the same way you signed up here by going to the Light Body Academy and going to the store. And we also have lots of other events coming up. So just stay tuned with emails that are coming forward.
You have the tracking clinic you offer as well tomorrow, do you not?
Okay, I guess I do.
I was just gonna.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's funny. I'm always like not paying attention to what I have, right? So tomorrow, if you're interested in learning how to track energy more and like doing what we're doing today and how I speak the energies that are coming forward, we dive into practice in how to track those energies and what data sets that present for us. And that's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, and that's 90 minutes. And you're welcome to sign up through the Light Body Academy website as well. Thank you, Sherry, for that reminder. Okay.
I think I'm signed up because I got the email, but I might not be able to make it tomorrow.
Okay.
But
okay.
we get the recording, so
yeah,
that'd be good.
Yeah, and I know you're in and out with your travels, so yeah. Okay. Right. Love you all.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Love you.
Hasta luego. Nos vemos. Ciao.
Ciao, los vemos.